good morning, everybody. Good morning once again. So, before we start, I'm going to go through some housekeeping to ensure smooth interaction with me, your host, and our speaker. So, there are a few reminders that I want to reiterate. Okay, so for today's session is being recorded to be available for viewing for post-conference. We also have an open forum at the end of each presentation, so please feel free to ask questions. Each resource speaker today will have a total of 20 minutes for their presentation. We will hold most questions until the end of their presentation, and I will then read questions out aloud for the presenters to answer. If you wish to ask the presenters a question, please click on the raise hand icon on the bottom of the screen, or you can also use the chat feature on the conference platform. Right. And if you experience any technical issue for today's webinar, please send me a message via the chat box. Thank you. All right. So before we proceed, I want to share a few insights and objectives and definition of Alcob, also known as APEC Learning Community Builder. It is one of the most representative human networks in the APEC region and a key factor of the APEC Future Education Consortium and APEC Learning Community for Shared Prosperity. ALCOB consists of APEC members, economies, educational leading teachers, learners, scholars who are getting together to materialize the outcome or the APEC learning community based on autonomy, sharing cooperation, and voluntarism. In particular, ALCOB EC or the ALCOB Entrepreneur Committee contributes to ALCOB projects as one of the ALCOB supporters. Understand more the objectives and upcoming projects of ALCOB, as well as an update and to officially start today's session, let us hear from Ms. Soyen Lee, a program specialist of IACE or the Institute of APEC Collaborative Education.
My name is Soyan Lee, a program specialist at the Institute of APEC Collaborative Education. First of all, thank you for having me here once again at the 5th ACP International Online Class, leading by the Philippines. I'm happy to see you all again, safe and healthy, as we are now at the beginning of the new year. Throughout the year, last year, I believe that you have learned how important it is to listen to your friends from different economies and to share your culture, your ideas, your opinions with them makes us stronger and be more motivated. Through such activities, you became global leaders gradually, and I believe that you are already the global leaders. And that is the power of global education cooperation. And I appreciate all teachers and students who have been participating in this Alcob Cooperative Project continuously. Today, Ms. Perin, Ms. Sheena, Dr. Ordoves, the teachers from the Philippines, prepared interesting topics for you. I do appreciate your efforts and dedications. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lee, for sharing your expertise. I have read some articles about you, and I'm very surprised that you are young, and you inspire me to do more and be the best in our field. Thank you so much for gracing our event. All right, so I would like to call on the assiduous school head of Sauyo High School, Mr. Gilor E. of Francia, to welcome everyone to the Philippines. Let us all give him a virtual round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome to our Alcob Online Cooperative Project. I would like to take this opportunity as well to thank my old friend, Mr. Yunbin Im, for having us, and to our friend from Indonesia, Miss Lara from Russia, and our friends and ICT students in the Republic of South Korea. I would like to introduce to you my head teachers in Sauyo High School. We also have right now, we have Ma'am Ness, Ma'am Marilyn, Ma'am Cecil, Sir Dex, Ma'am Grace from our different departments, Ma'am Annabelle from our different departments who will be watching with us. Together, we also have our Sauyo High School teachers and students who will be joining us for an hour of activity. Thank you for having this opportunity as well. We're giving this opportunity for having our teachers become a lecturer and part of this online cooperative project. I also want to commend our speakers who will be lecturing us later this day or later this morning. We have Ms. Sheena Ali, our faculty president as well, and Ms. Arlyn Ms, and Dr. Elinita Ordoves, our friends since 2009, and also an Alcob member in Korea and Russia. Thank you once again, and happy winter, to our friends in Russia and South Korea, and in the Philippines. It's getting colder and colder as the day goes by, and I hope this lasts for a couple of months, but I think come February or March, we will be having a summer once again. Thank you and enjoy the day.
Thank you so much, Sir Gilori of Francia, for giving us a positive mood with those wonderful words. You have been an inspiration to us all, especially in Sauyo High School, for us to aim for a higher standard in providing quality education to our Filipino learners. We can thank you enough for all your hard work, perseverance, and your very effort to motivate each of us to do our best in our profession. Above all, to be positive and spread love, not hate, amidst all the challenges. Thank you, sir. All right, so to proceed, let us hear from our three speakers for this morning. It is with deep pride and honor to introduce our three keynote speakers for this webinar. They are the best in their respective subject areas, connoisseurs in strategies and principles of teaching. I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that you will definitely learn a thing or two from these three educators from Sauyo High School and Don Quintin Paredes High School from the Philippines. Our first speaker, Miss Arlyn F. Perrin, is known for her efficient and humble characteristics. She graduated with a degree in Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in physics at Marinduque State College in 2006. In 2016, she successfully completed the requirements for a master's degree in educational management from Polytechnic University of the Philippines. And currently, she is a PhD candidate for a Doctor of Philosophy, major in educational management. Ladies and gentlemen, give our virtual applause as we welcome our first speaker this morning, a notable teacher and a friend of mine from Science Department. Please welcome once again Miss Arlyn S. Perrin for her topic, Bridging Gap for Gen Z Learners.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Jeline, for that very nice introduction. Let me share my screen, ma'am. To our students from Korea, Chunat Chimeo. Students and participants from Malaysia and Indonesia, Salamat Pagi. Students and teachers from Russia, Jubri Utra. Students and participants from the Philippines, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. To the members and leaders of this Alcob, Ms. Suyon Lee, to our specialists, Ms. Lara, Ms. Fitra, Mr. Ri, Mr. Farid, Mr. Im, to our dear principal, Sir Gilori of Francia, and to Dr. Ordoves, Ma'am Sheena, my co-discussant this morning. Good morning to everyone. I want to extend my deepest gratitude to the members of this Alcob for this one great opportunity to be your discussant this morning on the topic Bridging Gap for Gen Z Learners. I am Mrs. Perrin, a science teacher from Sauyo High School, Philippines. And for our today's lesson, these are our objectives. One is to identify the 21st century skills needed to develop by Gen Z learners. Two, provide effective methodology to address the learning gap among Gen Z learners. And the last one is inspire learners to improve their critical and creative skills, solving complex problems, information awareness, and leadership skills. As we go along with our lesson this morning, there are four important terminologies that we are going to encounter along the way. Those are the Gen Z learners, the K-12 curriculum, the STEM track, and the 21st century skills. Now let us take a quick tour of who are the Gen Z learners. The first one is that they were born between 1995 to 2012. Generation Z is often referred to as post-millennial, I generation, and digital natives. Most of our current K-12 students are part of Generation Z. Let us take a look on the different characteristics of the Gen Z learners. The first one is that they are our first digital natives. When we say digital native, they are someone who was raised in a digital media saturated world. As we can see in our today's students, our students are very much familiar with the technology nowadays, with the use of the different gadgets and also with the help of the internet. They are much more knowledgeable than us teachers, right? Okay. Next one is that Gen Z learners are diverse. They possess multiple talents and skills. Gen Z learners are versatile. And lastly, Gen Z students experience high rates of depression and anxiety. There is a data, this is a sad reality for our Gen Z learners. There is a data that the total number of teenagers experiencing depression increased 59% from 2007 to 2017. And what do you think is the reason behind? Potential contributing factors include academic pressure, high rates of perfectionism, and lack of adequate sleep. Because endless hours has been spent by our Gen Z learners through online, watching Netflix, being active in the social media, and the like. We Filipinos are known to be very competitive internationally. And we are proud to say that we in the Philippines already have our K-12 curriculum. This is from the Republic Act number 10533, known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013. This was released last April 24 to 2012, and the proponent of this is the former DepEd Secretary, Brother Arlyn Ms. What is the goal or the objective of this K-12 curriculum? Why is it that our educational system has been enhanced from the 10-year basic to 12-year basic education? Because the objective of this is to create a functional basic education system that will produce productive and responsible citizens equipped with essential competencies and skills for both lifelong learning and employment. The students from the Philippines who are graduate of this curriculum has three choices. The first one is whether they are going to pursue their college education. The second one is that if they want to put up their own business, and the other one is if they want to land for a particular job, because they are already equipped with those skills and competencies that they need. One of the track in this K-12 curriculum is the STEM track. This strand provides preparation for students in using science, math, engineering and technology to solve real-life problems and advance national development. It builds resilience in a safe environment by allowing students to experiment and to naturally experience failures as a part of the learning process. Remember, my dear students, that it is okay to fail. Do not be afraid if failures comes into your life. Why? Because through our failures, this will help us to learn and to become a better version of ourselves. Okay? What are the different career opportunities if a certain student is a graduate of the STEM track? You can be a web developer, a space scientist, a doctor, a marine biologist, an engineer, an accountant, and many more. There was a research conducted by the Dell Technology about the Gen Z learners and the skills gap. The survey collected responses from 12,086 Gen Z students ages 16 to 23. The responses came from 17 countries. The findings revealed or says that 97% says that technology literacy matters. 73% ranked their technology literacy as good or excellent. 80% believe that technology and automation will create more equitable work environment. 57% rank their education as good or excellent, preparing them for future career. And lastly, 52% are more confident that they have the technology skills. Now, the question, my dear student, is that what are the different skills that you need to work on to ensure that you are going to land with these STEM-related jobs? Am I talking here about the 21st century skills? The 21st century skills is a broad set of knowledge, skills, work habits, and character traits that are believed to be critically important to success in today's world. These 21st century skills are divided into three categories. The first one is the literacy skills, which involves information, media, and technology. The learning skills involves critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. And lastly, the life skills includes flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. Out of the 12 21st century skills, I only chose 5, which I believe that these 5 21st century skills are the most essential skills that our Gen Z students needs to develop. The first one is the critical thinking skills. This is the ability to reason out by using the problem-solving skills. Here are some of the activities that enhance the critical thinking skills. Using the problem-solving skills in science, we're using the scientific method. We all know that we need to observe, to ask questions, to do the research, to formulate hypotheses, to conduct experiment, to test the hypothesis before we can draw to the conclusion and share our result. Here are some of the activities that has been done by our student in Sauyo, Philippines last Science Month activity. We have our online quiz bee. We also have the CNC Cola, and this is a video making contest, which we believe that it helps in enhancing the critical thinking skills of our students. The next creative thinking skills. It makes use of a certain techniques to create innovative solution. We provide projects for our students that promotes creativity, innovation, and enhancement. Again, here are some of the activities that we have done, that our students did for our last Science Month celebration. We have the poster making contest. We also have the slogan making contest. The third is communication skill. It is the practice of conveying ideas by using a variety of methods. Our Gen Z students communicate through chats, vlogs, posting on social media, and the like. Communication skills involves written, oral, nonverbal, and visual communication, active listening, and contextual communication. No matter what type of career you are going to take, it is very important, my dear students, that we are good in communication skills. Okay, so here are some of the activities that our students are doing in order to enhance their communication skills. We engage them in reporting to the class, activities such as debate, impromptu speech, and the like. The next skills, which is the most critical of all the 21st century skills in today's world, is what we call the information literacy skills. It helps students understand facts, especially data points that they encounter online. For we know, class, that not all the information we get from the internet are true. Okay? We need to teach them, teachers, how to separate facts from fiction. We also need to teach our students how to protect themselves online. Okay? And what are the different things that we need to do in order to improve our information literacy skills? One is to expose them in infographics, classify fake and real news, learn to filter search online, accurate information, bias, and prejudice, update on news, current events from reliable source. Do not settle to one source only. Scrutinize the reliability of the channel, the newscaster, the speaker, the background achievements, the affiliate should be all reliable. Okay, I want to share with you some of the activities that can help us to enhance our information literacy skills. We have the Global Hand Washing Day, we have the Drug Awareness Campaign, we have the Information Literacy Campaign. Our school, the Sauyo High School, participated in the Global Hand Washing Day. We let our students to upload online how do they participate for this particular event. The last skills that our Gen Z learners need to develop is the leadership skill. It involves self-development, team development, strategic thinking, ethical practice, which is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principle, and also innovation. Okay, so here are some of the organization and activities that our school do in order to improve the leadership skills, not only by our student, but also our teachers. This is our student government organization. Okay, this is the leadership training conducted in our school. We also have the Brigada Escuela, and for the information of everyone, Brigada Escuela is a nationwide initiative by the Department of Education that mobilizes thousands of parents, alumni, civic groups, local businesses, non-government organizations, teachers, students, and individuals who volunteer their time and skills to do the repair, maintenance, work, and clean up of public elementary and secondary school. This nationwide caravan is held simultaneously across the country's 16 regions. We also have our community pantry because we are now on the second year that we are in the pandemic. So our students are not allowed to go out, and therefore their parents are the one coming to school to get all the supplies that our school distributed for them. Okay, this is the learning kit distribution. And before I end my talk this morning, I want to share with you what has been said by Charles Darwin in the past. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent that survive. it is the one that is most adaptable to change. Because of one thing won't change, and this is the trend towards a more digital world. I want to say it with you, everybody, that let us always learn from our past, working on our present, and let us plan for our future. I hope that you learned something for my talk this morning. That's all for today. Maraming salamat at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you very much, Ms. Arlyn Ms. on such an extraordinary analysis and an in-depth insight about our 21st century learners. Without a doubt, our students need to develop these skills such as what you have mentioned, like critical thinking, creativity, leadership, communication, and information literacy. And the most important of all is the cybersecurity. These skills will make them more flexible and adaptable in our constantly changing workforce, increase their ability to work cross-culturally, be able to take on positions of leadership, and be globally competitive in the future. All right, so if you guys have anything to say or questions to ask, our chat box is now open for our question and answer forum. If you have questions, please type it in our chat box.
What is most important skill once of was listed today?
Thank
Your
you for
question will
that
be from Ms. Lee.
question. Thank you for that question. I think the most important skills that our students need to develop in our current situation is the information literacy skills. Since everybody is at home, our schools are closed because of we are in the pandemic. Okay, so we need to filter all the information we got online because we know, class, that information is just one at the tip of our fingers. Please be very careful in spreading information without filtering those information first. Thank you.
Thank you for your answer.
You're welcome.
Is there any more question? Let us hear from Kanel King.
Hello, hi everyone. I want
Good
to ask,
morning.
yeah, good morning. What educational platforms do you guys use to teach the students? Oh, and I'm from Russia. Sorry, I'm from Russia. I'm a teacher in Russia.
What platform are we using to teach our student?
Yeah, what educational platforms? Yeah.
In our 2 years of the online learning, we are using the Google Meet. This is the platform that we are using to teach our students online.
We use Zoom and Google Meet in Russia.
Oh yeah.
It's like you teach Russia, like hello, nice to see you,
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. King. All right, let's hear from Miss Salita SMAN. She's raising her hand.
What kind of activity do you do in improving your student leadership? Thank you.
Okay, so we have different or series of activities in order to enhance the literacy skills of our student. We do the leadership trainings. We're sending our leaders into training, seminars, and workshop. Although we are in the online, we are doing this as a webinar. Then we also use the Google Meet as a platform for these events.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ma'am Salita, for that question.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Why
You
does
may.
Gen Z students experience a higher risk of depression harder than other generation? And is there a solution for this problem?
Okay, so based from the presentation earlier, there is a data that the Gen Z students experience a high rates of depression. And do you think? What do you think is the reason behind? It is because a long hours spent by our Gen Z learners in their gadgets, which this long time spent foster isolation and depression. You do not have time anymore to cultivate a social relationship with your friends outside. It is because one of the factors also is the pandemic that we are into. And how are we going to solve that? Okay, I guess parents and teachers should guide always our student to at least minimize the time being spent by our students in their gadgets in order for them to have other time, to spend their other time with the members of the family. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I think there are no more questions for Miss Arlyn Parin. Let us proceed to our next speaker. For our next speaker, she's well known for her winsome attributes as a woman with a strong mind and a sensitive heart. She holds a bachelor degree in secondary education, major in values education, and 18 units in special education at Philippine Normal University in Manila in 2007. She has completed 45 units for a master's degree in guidance and counseling at IACE College in Manila. She has been a public school teacher for 10 years, and now within those years, she has proven her worth, for she is a constant representative of her department in division demo teaching and module writing. In 2021, she was elected as the faculty club president of Sauyo High School. Her service doesn't just evolve within the school but in the community as well. Serving as the current president of RCC Kapit Bisig, she spearheaded community projects that benefit students as well as teachers. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, our next resource speaker this morning, Ms. Sheena and Ali from Sauyo High School. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Ma'am Jeline Vigonte. Thank you for that very wonderful introduction. You know me very well, right? Thank you to Miss Annabel Ronquillo for doing that introduction for this morning. I would like to greet everyone. Good morning, especially to our dear principal, Sir Gilor E. of Francia. Thank you for this opportunity, sir. I will not forget this momentous opportunity that you gave to me and also to Ma'am Perrine. Good morning. Annyeonghaseyo to all the Korean students out there. Dobre utro. Am I saying that right, Ma'am Lara? Miss Lara?
Доброе утро. Доброе утро.
Utro. Utra. Thank you, Miss Lara. And of course, Joyo Nachimeo, Mr. Yoon Bin Im, and to all the South Korean students out there. And salamat pagi to Indonesian and Malaysian friends that we have out there. Am I saying that right, Ma'am Fitra? Miss Fitra? Salamat pagi.
Absolutely correct.
Thank you, ma'am. So I will now share my screen. Okay, so I already greeted all of you. So, Julia Nachimeo, hello, magandang umaga, dobre utra, salamat pagi to all of you. I will be your speaker. My name is Ma'am Sheena and Ali from Sauyo High School. And I will be discussing online learning in the Philippines, advantages and disadvantages. So, we can all relate to this particular topic, for we are all doing online learning in different parts of the world. So I'm hoping that I can get different messages or relatable messages in our chat box, and then I will read it one by one, if we have time, of course. So for this particular topic, we have 3 objectives. Let me read that for you. First is to enumerate and explain the advantages and disadvantages in online learning in the Philippines. Second, value education amidst the challenges of online learning. Third and last, to encourage students and teachers to give their best in online learning. So are you ready? Can I have some emojis or we are ready in our chat box so that we can start our discussion? I would really like to have an interactive discussion with all of you.
Let's get it started.
Let's get let's get it started. Yeah. Okay, so let's start our discussion. Okay, we are ready. Thank you, Bob Mary Rosael. Okay. So let's start this one. So for us to be able to start this one, I would like to request all of you to link these four pictures together. I have a clue there. So what is the word that we? Okay, thank you, Mr. John Ramirez Balahaja. We already have an answer. Yes. How about our friends in Russia or in South Korea or in Malaysia? Okay, yes. This is COVID-19, no? We are all struck by this pandemic last 2019. Okay. We are all struck by this pandemic last 2019, and just like what Charles Darwin said, we need to adapt with these particular changes that we are now facing in our education system. So we also experienced that here in our country, and until now, um, we are still in online learning. So, due to this pandemic, due to COVID-19, the Department of Education established the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, or BELCP, as a response to protect the health and safety of the students, educators, and personnel from the ongoing pandemic. So, what is the main goal or aim of this BELCP? So, this aims to provide quality distance learning use, using different modes of learning, which are asynchronous learning, synchronous learning, and blended learning. So, what is online learning? So, according to Lego, last 2010, online learning is a form of live synchronous platform where it requires both parties to have good and stable internet connection. So, um, internet connection is one of the most important things that we need for this particular online learning. So now let's discuss the advantages first of online learning. Okay, so this is the first one. First is it is convenient because students can reach their teachers and classmates online within the day. So we're all familiar with this. We have WhatsApp, we have Messenger, and also we have this email. No, we can easily chat them, and they can easily reply with us if we have any queries, questions, or any um, clarification with our lessons. Next is this arrangement offers flexibility because students can study anytime and teachers can teach from the comfort of their own homes with heavy stress what to wear and how to travel from home to school. So we have here pictures wherein, uh, if you remember this picture, this is the traffic that we are experiencing when we go to our school. I don't know if there's also traffic in Russia or in Malaysia, Indonesia, and also South Korea. But here in the Philippines, we have a very long traffic, and it is very stressful given the weather that we have here in our country. Of course, it is the safest way to study right now because they don't have to leave the house and worry about getting sick or catching the virus. Oh, this is my favorite part of the advantages of online learning. It is students can spend more quality time and catch up frequently with their families. Um, uh, May I just share that I have three kids, and now that I can spend quality time with them and I can tutor them with their modules, with their learning materials, I can help them answer their assignments, and I deeply know them by now because we have time to share their experiences with their online learning and how they feel with regards to their subjects, with regards to their teachers. And I think that is one of the most essential things that as a parent or a teacher that we can have, that we can give to our daughters and also to our child. And I think for students also, uh, to you as a son or a daughter, to your parents, this will be a good time for you to really uh, release all those stress to your parents and also to your teachers now that we are all in the comforts of our homes. That, that's all for the advantages. And now we are going to discuss the disadvantages of online learning. You can see the picture out there. She's so stressed. Okay, but let's discuss the disadvantages. First disadvantage is, of course, for online learning, we really need to have gadgets, no? And for us to purchase gadgets, we need to have money to purchase that. So, lack of gadgets to use for online classes hampers the students' education. Most of our students have this kind of problem, and some of them are just borrowing with their older sister or older brother so that they can attend their online classes. No, I know Mom Petra is smiling. I think she can relate to this. Maybe some of your students also experience this one, and they will tell you that they can answer the module yet because their older brother, older sister is still engaged in online learning, and you will understand them. And this is one of the disadvantages that we have. When the COVID-19 pandemic strikes to all of us, it comes with unemployment with some of the persons. We are all lucky in the teaching profession because we are all here. But some of the some of the people are not that lucky just like us, no? Um, so they're unemployed and they have their daughters and son with them, and their daughter and son needs to attend their online and they need to buy this particular gadget. And this is one of the disadvantages that we have for online learning. But thankfully, here in Quezon City, our local government unit, our Mayor Belmonte uh, gave tablets to all the students here in Quezon City. So it is one of the things that we are very thankful for the local government for providing these gadgets to our students. So I'm hoping that your country did that to your students. So that's the first one for the disadvantages. So the next one is here. Students who live in the rural areas lack internet connection. Others have to climb mountains, cross rivers, and walk for miles just to get signal or connect to free Wi-Fi to attend online class or download modules. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but here in our country, sometimes, even here in urban areas, we experience intermittent signal. And actually, one of the teachers I was featured in a news article here in our country. The news article is entitled "Teacher in Ilocos Sur Climbs Mountain to Get Wi-Fi Signals, Enroll Students Online." So this is one of the sad realities that some of our teachers and students are experiencing, especially in rural areas. This was featured in Internet Inquirer.net, one of the big newspapers here in our country. And some of the teachers have to really go far and get out so that they can do their task in online learning. And you can see here that not only the teacher but also the students are really giving their best so that they can do the very best that they can in online learning. Maybe we are living in urban areas, but we are still experiencing some challenges in our internet. Sometimes our Wi-Fi signal turns red without our knowledge, and then we keep on talking and talking, and we didn't know that we are already out of our Google Meet or of our Google Classroom, and then our student will just message us, and then they will say that, "Mom, we can no longer hear you. Where are you?" And then you will just say, "Oh no, I keep on talking and talking and talking, but you can't hear me." So I know that you can relate to that also. So that's the second disadvantage. Now let's go to the next one. Oh no, the bills. Okay, all the mothers and parents can relate to this one. But I can see Miss Lara smiling and nodding her head. The bills for electrical and internet connection double. Students stay at home and manage their studies. The bills are like, wow, and we are really spending so much with our electrical bill. Um, Let me just share my experience. My normal electrical bill is 1,500 pesos. I don't know how you change that to your currency. That's only 1,500 pesos. And then now that we are in online learning, my electrical bill goes to 2,300 pesos. And that is just wow. And that is, plus, of course, the our internet connection, the phone bill, the water bill, and all of that. And we're all budgeting that with our salary. You know, teachers have the lowest salary, you know. So, but still, we can cope up with the challenges, right? So that is the third disadvantage, and this is the next one. Oh, this is the last one, I think. Strug- Teachers and students struggles mentally and physically as they try to adjust to this mobile learning and teaching. For several years, Philippines is practicing the traditional way of learning, which is face-to-face. That is why when COVID struck all of us, it's a 360 degrees change in the educational system in the Philippines. So teachers, students, parents were all affected by this change. You can see here in the picture, the male here is having this eye strain, and I think all of you can relate to that. Some of our teachers and some of our students are buying anti-radiation glasses, or they're already purchasing and they're already going to the hospital so that they can have their eyes checked up because they're experiencing dryness of the eyes due to exposures to gadgets, and that is one real thing that we're experiencing now in online learning. And of course, since we are in online learning and teaching, we are bombarded with different tasks, with different assignments, and we have so many deadlines. That is why we are struggling mentally because we need to juggle our tasks in our school, our assignments, our school reports, and then we also need to juggle our household chores. We need to face our laundry, to wash our dishes, to clean our clothes, to fold our clothes, to clean the house, and all of those things. Because we are at home, and we have to admit that now that we're in online learning, we don't really have that office time or official time when we are doing our job. Sometimes our students will message us 2 o'clock in the morning while we are sleeping, right? But since we are very passionate with our teaching, we will answer that when we are already awake because we know that that particular student messages us because he or she needs our help for that particular task. Okay, and also this one, we are struggling mentally and physically, and this is the importance of having friends that you can really talk to, even when you're using only your Google Meet. You can talk to them so that you can tell them your experiences, so that you can just release all your stress to your dear friends. That is why I would like to thank my dear friends at Sauyo High School for listening to all of my worries and problems in our school or in my personal life. Thank you for that. So, yes, that's it. Those are the advantages and disadvantages that we have for online learning. And I would like to leave this message from the former U.S. President, Theodore Roosevelt, that given the challenges that we have, believe you can and you are halfway there. Just keep going, my fellow teachers, and to our dear students, because just like what Charles Darwin said, according to Mom Perrine's presentation, we really need to accept the changes that we have, and we need to accept and embrace the changes that we have for online learning so that we will give the very best that we can for online learning because we don't know when will this COVID pandemic will end. And that ends my presentation. Again, I would like to say thank you. Kamsahamnida. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. These are my Sheena and Ali from Sauyo High School, Philippines. I'm hoping that you all learned from that presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sheena Ali, for inspiring us and encouraging our students to work even harder and be excited about what e-learning has to offer. Transferring to online learning has been the biggest challenge, not only for us teachers, but also for our students. As e-learning forcefully becomes more advanced with artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and machine language processing, among others. It is also our responsibility as teachers and students to adapt and maximize the advantages of what these technologies in store for us and also for our future. Thank you, Ma'am Sheena Ali, for giving that um, wonderful explanation and in-depth insight on your struggles and your experience as an online teacher in what we call now as the new normal classroom. All right, guys, if you have anything to say or questions, our chat box is now open for your questions. You can also use the hand icon.
Hello, thank you for amazing presentation. I'm Tanya from Russia. Let me ask a question. Do you like the online learning and how long do you think it will last?
Thank you, Tanya, for that question. I'm so happy that most of our students are engaging in open forum. You can say that they are really listening to to our discussion. So, Tanya, at first, I really didn't like it because for the longest time in my 10 years of service in public school, I've been teaching face to face. And as you can observe me, I would really love to interact to my students. I would really love to see their eyes if they are really learning because because this is my course. I would really love to see their behavioral pattern and the way they engage with our class discussion. I would really love to hear their ideas. So at first I really didn't like it, and I will tell that to you honestly. But as we go all along online learning and as we go all along with online learning, I have to embrace it and give the very best that I can because yes, according to Miss Lara, this is the reality that we need to face right now. And as a teacher, I need to give my mandate, my objective in teaching the students, and so I need to give my best. If in that particular question, when will this last? You know, in my prayers, I am really praying that tomorrow when we wake up, we are already in our school, uh, facing our classmates, facing our students. I really pray for that. For that question, I don't know. Since the COVID-19 is mutating now in Philippines, there's Omicron variant and the surge of cases really increases. That's why this particular week we are having our health break. We don't have any classes this week because most of the Filipinos here are sick and we are showing symptoms of COVID-19 Omicron variant. That's why the Department of Education here in our country gave a memorandum regarding health break so that all of the students and teachers can relax and take a rest for this week. Thank you, Tanya. Did I answer your question, Tanya?
Yes, thank you for your answer.
Thank you, Tanya, for that question. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Tanya. Now let us proceed to our second question from SMK Sungai Kertas.
I have a question about the online learning discussion. Okay,
May
the
I
question,
ask?
does the Philippines government provide things such as internet data and gadgets for those who have problems for online learning?
The national government have been very supportive to the local government uh, with their task in providing the gadgets here for the students here in our country. There are several cities like City of Pasig, City of Manila, City of Quezon City, of course, that that receive free gadgets from their local government unit. And for example, here in Quezon City, our just like what I said a while ago, our local government unit have given tablets to our students, and they are given 10 gigabyte monthly data allowance so that they can attend their online classes. But of course, a 10 gigabyte allowance is not enough for them to answer their modules, for them to attend their online classes, because we all know that we need less than 1 gigabyte so that we can attend our Google Meet conference for 1 hour. For that's only for 1 hour. And but I think the Philippine government is very supportive. But I didn't. But some of the rural, some of the provinces that we have here in the Philippines are really suffering from online learning. That's why they are doing the modular learning, wherein they are given modules, printed modules, and they answer them in the comforts of their homes, and then their parents will help them in answering those learning modules. And then after a week, they will go to their school, and then the teacher will check those particular modules. I think those are the things that the national government help our students, teachers, and parents during this online learning.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering that question. Let us now hear from Miss Diana Ru.
Hello, thank you for
Hi,
your awesome
ma'am.
presentation. I have a question for you. How do you think what can be added to make online learning better?
Thank you, Diana, for that question. What will we do to make our online learning better? I think, as I've read some of the research that has done here in the country, some teachers just give their tasks asynchronously to their students, and and then the students will answer that, and then they will not get any feedback by answering those particular learning tasks that they did. So I think we can make this online learning better by giving feedback to the works of our students, just like what we do in just like what we just like what we do in face-to-face learning. Because I think that's what is lacking now in online learning. The students doesn't know if they did great or if they did right in their task, because there are no feedbacks given to them. And I think we can make this online learning better if we really have the support of and cooperation of your parents, because your parents are now the new teachers for this online learning. Teachers can only do so much with online learning. We can just deliver the lesson, but due to time limit and internet disadvantages or intermittent connectivity, we have limitations in delivering our lessons. So uh, I know that students are new to online learning, in which they needed much support to go through the challenges of learning online. And I think it is very necessary for all the students to embrace what we have right now, because we all know that education is very important, and this is the only thing that the educational institution can do to all of us. So let's just try to embrace it and learn more from online learning. Have I answered your question, Diana?
Yeah, thank you for your answer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Diana, for your wonderful question. Now let us proceed to Ma'am Anissa SMAN, 3 Padang. Hi, Ma'am.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anissa from SMAN 3 Padang Panjang. Thank you for your nice presentation. My question is how to overcome students' problem in online learning. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Anissa, for that question. Oh, I really can feel that some of the students really now are struggling with online learning, no? how can we really overcome with online learning? I think you really need to be uh, you really need to discuss all your queries, your problems to your parents, to your teachers, and to your dear friends, and also to your classmates. I always tell my students that we really need to practice helping each other now that we are in online learning, because we are isolated in our homes, and we really need to tell our friends what we are encountering right now, so that they can help us with our assignments, or you can release all your stress with online learning. And I think you really need to find your truest circle of friends who will really help you out with online learning. Um, I think emotional support is a big help to overcome stress, because I think it is a matter of what mindset do you have with online learning. If you are still against online learning, then you will not really embrace the challenges that we have in online learning. But if you embrace it, and you just learn to accept that this is the reality that we have, then you will just need to do the very best that you can, and think that in the future we will really have our face-to-face classes again. I really believe on that. Have I answered your question, Anissa?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Anissa.
Thank you, Ma'am Anissa, for that question. Thank you, Ma'am Sheena, for patiently answering the question. All right, let us proceed to Ma'am Nabila because she's been waiting for a while. Ma'am Nabila, let's hear from you.
Hello, my name is Nabila. I'm from Vocational High School number 6,
Hi, ma'am.
Indonesia. I have a question. Do teachers have difficulty teaching online?
Thank you for the question. Uh, yes, yes, we have really some difficulties in online teaching. Students, them. I am just so happy all of you are opening your cameras, because we can really see you. But here in the Philippines, we can't do that. Some of our students are really turning off their cameras because we really have poor signal, or they have to save their gigabytes, their data allowances, so that they can do a lot more in their online classes. I really miss interacting with my students. I think that is one of the difficulties that we have in online teaching. We really can't see if if really if our students are really learning from us, because we just present our slides, we just present our presentations, but we really can see through their eyes if they are really learning. They are not even asking questions, just like what we're doing today. They are not asking questions. So if if say, okay, the end of the discussion, they have any questions, then they will just say, none, ma, goodbye, ma'am. That's it. And I think that is one of the hardest things that we are experiencing in online learning. Um, we really can interact, and we really can talk to our students, just like what we did in face-to-face classes.
I think that Mr. King, okay, has also a question.
Let me ask this last question.
Okay, sir.
I want to ask. I know that there have been difficulties with online classes, right? And most of the students have problems with online connections, with gadgets, yeah? I want to know personally, what do you do to help these kind of people or these kind of students who have problems with gadget or internet connection in your state?
Thank you for the question, sir. How do we help those students? We have a lot of students who really can't go to online classes because they don't have any load, or sometimes they need to borrow their gadgets from their siblings. So we reach out to them. We reach out to their parents first. We ask their parents, and we tell their parents that your kid is not attending our online classes, and then they will ask their daughter or their son why they are not attending. And sometimes some of the reasons are due to they don't have any. That is why we are giving them uh, the longest time so that they can answer their tasks in our Google Classroom. doing remediation. Actually, next week we are going to have remediation week for 2 weeks here in the Philippines, so that all of the tasks that were not answered by our students will have their time. Will have time to answer those particular answer sheets. Um, our school head, Mr. Gilor Francia, gave us a very important message that face-to-face learning and online learning are two different things. We don't need to measure our students on how we measure them during face-to-face learning, and I think that is very important to know. Teachers should know that we have a different setup right now, so that's why we really need to have a different calculations and instructions or measurements on how we grade our students. We really need to be very kind and generous with the grades that we are giving to them, given the challenges that they are facing in their personal houses. That is why some of the advisors that we have are doing home visitations. They go to their houses, to the students, to the students' houses, and they are talking to them and asking them what are the difficulties that they are facing, and we are giving them a lot of time so that they can pass the requirements in our school. And then, and our school head is very supportive of that. One time, our school head went to to one of our students who got a failing mark, and they really discussed things, and that particular student was enrolled right now, and we are really talking to them and give importance to that particular students, because teachers should know, all of us should know that online learning is a matter of how the student is motivated with it. And uh, motivation is the key thing that students need for online learning. If the student is not motivated at all, given all the resources that the local government gave to them, then he or she, or given the talents or skills that she or he has, it is nothing. So teachers should step out of the box. Think that all of our students, just like us, are struggling also with online learning. And this came to us in a very abrupt setup, and we didn't have time to prepare for it. So I think we need to have a really broad understanding to our students. I'm not saying that I'm a perfect teacher, but what I am saying is that we really need to be understanding with what our students are experiencing right now, because we can really see their situation. Their parents are unemployed, and they are facing some um, debts in their family. Some of their family members are sick in the hospital, and they need to take care of them. So we really need to be understanding with their situation. And I think a good message or a good hello, what are you doing, or how are you doing, is a great help, so that our students will be motivated again in entering our online classes. Have I answered your question, sir?
Yeah, you have. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
sir.
much, Sir King, for your question, and Ma'am Sheena for scholarly answering and giving your reflective and deep analysis in sharing your expertise when it comes to advantages and disadvantages of the online classroom. Indeed, that today we have a very active participants from Korea, Russia, Indonesia, and Malaysia. We really appreciate all your questions, and we are happy to that you are here today with us. All right, to proceed for our last speaker, if you have no more questions. All right, so I see from the chat box there are no more questions. All right, so let us proceed to our last speaker. She is Dr. Elenita S. Ordoves, school head of Don Quintin Paredes High School. Our speaker has a distinguished career in the field of educational administration and management. She is well known for her effective leadership and management skills. Please join me as she shares to us her expertise in the field of science and technology. Our last but definitely not the least resource speaker this morning, Dr. Elenita S. Ordoves from Don Quintin Paredes High School.
to the organizer of this activity today, Sir Yoon Bin Im, our particularists from different parts of Asia, South Korea, Russia, Indonesia, Malaysia, and of course, our native land, the Philippines. Special thanks to the principal of Sauyo High School, my dearest friend, Sir Gilor of Francia, who introduced to me what Alcob APEC is and how acculturation and enculturation is possible via Alcob APEC activities. I myself experienced those things, acculturation and enculturation, when Sir Gilor of Francia allowed me to experience and join the 2015 e-icon contest in Korea. And of course, special thanks to the teachers of Sauyo High School, especially to Miss Sheena and Miss Arlyn. For today, I will be discussing one of the topics in Earth Science as part of the K-12 curriculum here in the Philippines. I would be very glad to answer your questions later. Magandang umaga po. A pleasant good day to all of you. For today, we will discuss one of the topics in Earth Science, and the topic is geologic timescale. Geologic timescale divides the history of the Earth into four major periods: the Precambrian era, Paleozoic era, Mesozoic era, and the Cenozoic era. It is the timing and relationship of events that have occurred during Earth's history, which is 4.6 billion years ago. And for you to really understand GTS, or geologic timescale, let us define the following: eon, era, epoch, and age. Eon means half a billion years or more. Era, on the other hand, means several hundred million years. Epoch means tens of millions of years. And last age, millions of years. The Precambrian time, which is the first period in the geologic time scale. Precambrians means before the Cambrian period. This eon covers more than 90% of the entire history of the Earth, and hard-to-discern fossils are found in some Precambrian rocks. Under Precambrian time, we have different eons. Hadean eon begins 4.6 billion years ago. It is the time when formation of earth and gas occurred, and no one has found any rocks on earth in this era. Archean eon, it begins about a billion years ago. It is the eon when oceans, atmosphere, continents were formed, and it is also the time when bacteria exist. Proterozoic eon, it begins 700 million years ago. It is the time when oxygen built up on Earth, and many celled or multicellular organisms exist. And Precambrian ended during this eon. Let's proceed to the second period in the geologic time scale, the Paleozoic era. It begins 542 million years ago. Paleozoic era. Two words were compounded or coined in order to form the word Paleozoic. The first one is Palaios, which means old, and Zoon, which means animal. Under Paleozoic era, is the Cambrian period. It is the period when sea life invertebrates multiply. Next to Cambrian period is the Ordovician period. It is the period when diverse marine life, including vertebrates and vascular plants, evolved. The third period under Paleozoic era is the Silurian period. It is the time when coral reefs exist. First jawed fish evolved, and large scorpions evolved or existed on Earth. Under Paleozoic era is the Devonian period. It is the period when new species of marine animals existed, and the first trees evolved and wingless insects multiplied on Earth. Next is the Carboniferous period. Under this period, there was a maximum coal formation in swampy forests. New insects, amphibians, reptiles, fishes, clams, and crustaceans existed. The last period in Paleozoic era is the Permian period. It is the time when large reptiles, amphibians, and most species become extinct. Permian period marked the end of Paleozoic era. The third period in the geologic timescale is the Mesozoic era. It is called the Age of Reptiles. It consists of 6 periods. The first period is the Triassic period. It is the time when early dinosaurs, crocodiles, turtles existed on Earth. It is also the time when first mammal evolved here on Earth. Next is the Cretaceous period. It is the time when dinosaurs and other reptiles dominated the Earth. It also gave rise to the appearance of seed-bearing plants. Cenozoic period, on the other hand, gave rise to majority of mammals on Earth. Paleogene period. It is the time when rich insects fauna existed. It also gave rise to bats on Earth, and diverse variety of mammals and birds evolved. The Neogene period. This is the time which mammals and birds further developed on Earth. It also gave rise to the existence of human beings. The Neogene period brought big changes for the Earth. The climate became cooler and drier. Grasslands replaced forests. Animals have to adapt to these changes, or else they will become extinct. This is Elenita Santos Ordoves of Don Quintin Paredes High School saying thank you and mabuhay po kayo.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ordoves, for that chance and opportunity for us to go back in time and think about our beginnings, especially the history of the world, and also recall the history of science. Indeed, my favorite subject is history, and that I know that history give us an opportunity, okay, to redo and to fix the mistakes that the past have past generation and past species have done. It also showed us a glimpse into both the history of science and the world, and showed us that whatever discoveries that we have nowadays, okay, those moments of discovery gave us a moment of appreciation, through though it may seem anticlimactic right now, but imagine not having discovered them at all. So I hope that the lesson that Dr. Ordoves has shared to us will give us a chance to reflect and redo what the mistakes of the past generation. All right. So if you have any questions, the chat box is now open for your questions. Let us open the chat box and see if there are questions. All right, so we have one from Kostya Ru.
How did you gather all the information from this presentation?
Okay. I was able to gather the concepts that I have presented to what I have learned from college and what I have taught during the time when I was still a teacher. Actually, before I became an administrator, I was a classroom teacher for more than 22 years. So it was only recently that I was promoted as principal. Here in the Philippines, before you become a principal, you ought to take the national qualifying exam for principals. And you have to undergo training under the National Educators Academy of the Philippines. If I'm not mistaken, our training is, formal training is less than a quarter. Then we also have our immersion. But what is beautiful in the lesson that I have presented, it is very easy to integrate disciplines such as math, history, and science. So in the topic geologic timescale, you can learn the evolution of organisms from the ancient period up to the present period. Second is you can integrate English by asking students to, let's say, write a poem or describe the different organisms that evolved from each period. In math, you can ask the students to come up with a simple graphic organizer using pie or bar graph on how they will show which period is the longest and which period is the shortest. And in what period did we evolve the Homo sapiens sapiens or the human beings? Another thing is that this topic, in this topic, it is very easy to teachers to employ different strategies and techniques in teaching the concepts of geologic timescale, especially the evolution of man, from the primitive man to the present human being that we have.
Thank you, ma'am, for answering that question. All right, let's hear from Erin Ru. Hi, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, loud and clear.
Thank you very much. I'm Erin from Russia, and I have that question. I love scorpions very much, and as we have just found out, they appeared in the Silurian period. They were big, but were they poisonous?
I have said that the topic is very interesting and integration to different subjects or disciplines is very easy. Let's say in English, as part of assessment or evaluation to the students, the teacher could ask the students to come up with a poem or an essay about the organisms that evolved in each period or era. Another thing, it is very easy to integrate this topic to math by asking students to come up with a simple graphic organizer such as pie graph or bar graph, showing which period or era is the longest, which era or period is the shortest, which era or period did human beings evolve. Another thing, it is also very easy to integrate this topic to Filipino as one of our subjects in the Philippines or in TLE by asking the students if what organisms could be eaten or what organisms cannot be eaten or a source of food, as well as to plants. So it is also very interesting if you're going to ask the students to classify the plants into edible and not edible. With regards to the second question, during the Silurian period, majority of the vascular plants evolved. When we say vascular plants, those plants are with true roots, leaves, and stems. So the plants that we have right now, majority of them are vascular plants. And majority of what we are eating and what we are preparing as ingredients for our food are from vascular plants, especially those people who are called vegetarian or very careful, those people who are very careful on what they are eating. So, with regards to the question of Anaru, is it possible to consider any period more than others? Era. Era is also very important because if you're going to recall, the movie Jurassic Park was conceptualized with the concepts that the producer and the writer of the story conceptualized in order to come up with that movie. So we all know that dinosaurs evolved, but they also became extinct. So what are the possible reasons why those dinosaurs are now extinct? First reason to be considered is the changing climate and weather. So we all know that all of us, human beings, are now confronted with the problem of climate change. So are you aware of the last tornado that affected a certain part of America? Are you aware of the last super typhoon that the Philippines experienced last December, the Typhoon Odette? And are you aware that ice in the upper and lower part of the earth are now melting, and that would result to the increase of water level in the different bodies of water such as ocean, and we will be greatly affected by that impact.
I know, right, sir, that the topic of Dr. Ordoves has awakened the curiosity of our students as well as, of course, our teachers, the teachers that are here with us. And the word extinction and the word climate change. Part of the 21st century skill is preserving nature and our environment. It's very important that students nowadays, especially the Gen Z, but I know they are aware because I have read about it. They are aware that they need to preserve the environment and to take care of our natural resources. All right, so thank you so much, Mom.
I'm just interested. I will be asking the other curricularists from other parts of Asia if this topic is also included in your learning continuum, or are you discussing this topic also in science or in geology in your country?
Okay, this is teacher Hyunbin from Korea. Yes, we also include this kind of topic in our science class, especially also science class. Yeah, this is very hot issue, especially, how this earth develop and what we expect in the future. Thank you.
Thank you for that answer, Sir Yoon Bin Im. What about the others?
Hello, this is Ms. Lara from Russia. And I'm not good at history. I'm an English teacher. I'm a foreign language teacher. And as for history or social or science, I should ask my teachers.
Thank you for that honest answer, Mom Larissa of Russia. What about in other countries?
Okay, let me tell you, in Indonesia, we have also concern about the topic you discussed. So it was very engaging and amazing. And I hope your lecture will be continued maybe some other day. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Petra.
Wow, this is such an amazing and inspiring, very informative morning, as well as very active participants from Russia, Korea, Indonesia, and Malaysia. Thank you all for being active in our discussion. All right, so do we all agree that we enjoyed today's session? I hope you do because I did. And then I hope you all have a wonderful day as we take the journey of the present, reminisce the past, but do not stay in the past, and plan our future. May this day also give us time to reflect and appreciate and get excited of the significance of education as we journey to becoming the best version of ourselves, not just the teacher, but especially the next generation. As we near the end of this webinar, I want to leave you all with this immortal words from the poem Invictus by William Ernest Henley. This is my favorite line. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. I don't think I need to reiterate the meaning, but thank you so much, everyone, for sharing all your reflective answers, all your wonderful question, and all the scholarly answers from our colleagues from Sauyo High School, as well as the support of our head teachers, and of course our beloved principal, and of course all the school heads from Russia, Korea, Indonesia, and Malaysia, as well as the wonderful students from these countries. Thank you all. I really enjoyed the day, and I hope you do too. Thank you so much. We are going to miss you. Bye, everyone.